Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you my updated Naturia deck profile. Out of all of my decks, I'd have to say Naturia would be one of my most favorites at the moment. It's the one I play the most at locals. Right now I'm practicing with the Evil Stars at locals to see how those work out, and I'm having a lot of fun with them, but at the moment, until Order of Chaos comes out, they need more support, so this is what I mostly play, and I thought I'd show you my updated version. In my opinion, it works really well. I've gotten first place a couple times at locals with this deck, so I thought I'd just go through it, the build. I don't run Naturia Mantis or Fruit Fly or any of those in this deck. This is more of a hold the fort down with bamboo shoot kind of deck. So I thought I'd just go through the build, go through the extra deck, and show you what the deck is made of. Alright, so let's get started. The main card in the deck is Naturia Bamboo Shoot. He's a really, really good card in my opinion. What he does is when he is tribute summoned with a Naturia monster, your opponent can no longer activate any spells or traps, and this is a permanent effect as long as he stays on the field. So the only thing you have to worry about with your opponent when you have this on the field is monster effects and monster attacks. The only way they can stop it also is if they like Solemn Warning it or Solemn Judgement. So once it hits the field, your opponent can't bottomless, trap hole, or anything like that. The only way they can negate his effect is if they destroy it in battle, or if they somehow flip it face down with a monster effect, or leave the field and it comes back. Then its effect is negated. But other than that, you're completely safe from your opponent's spell and trap cards. The next card you're going to run are 3 Naturia Cliffs. In my opinion, to the Naturias, this is the Reborn Tengu of the Naturias. It's not as versatile as Reborn Tengu, but it works a lot better with them. Basically, when you summon him, and if he was to be destroyed by battle, you could bring out another cliff, and so on until you use all 3 of your cliffs up. But the one way I think he's better than Reborn Tengu for this deck is after you destroy the 3rd one, you can have 1 more Naturia out on the field. The only way you cannot use his effect is if you use him for like a synchro summon or a tribute summon. You can't use his effect in that method, but in any other way your opponent destroys him and he's sent to the graveyard, you can activate his effect, whether it be by battle or card effect. So yeah, really good card. I want to run 3 of him. You're also going to run 3 Naturia Cosmobeet. With Cosmobeet, when your opponent normal summons or sets a monster, you can automatically special summon this card from your hand. So if your opponent goes first and you have one in your hand and they set a monster or a normal summon, just special summon it right then, and then on your first actual turn, you can have a Naturia Bamboo Shoot. And he's also good because he's also a tuner monster, so you can get some synchro summons out there if you need to as well. You're also going to run a lot of 3s here, but they're good cards, and that's why you got to run 3 of them. You're going to run 3 Naturia Cherries. This is a must at 3. When his effect is, when he is destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you could special summon 2 Naturia Cherries from your deck to the field in face down defense position. So it's pretty much a wall, and it can also be used as fodder for when you want to tribute summon for Bamboo Shoot. You always want to play one of them, always play it face down. Sooner or later your opponent's going to figure out, hey, this is Naturia Cherries, but I mean, get rid of it, you just got 2 more blocks on the field. The only bad thing about the card is when you draw, like let's say you got 2 cherries in your hand, the other cherry is pretty much completely useless at the moment. So if you like set one, destroy it, you can only special summon 1 cherry because the card says it is only for the deck to be special summoned. Now this card is a favorite of mine. I also run 3 of him. You're going to run 3 Naturia Dragonfly. And why I love this guy so much is he is pretty much amazing defense when it comes with the Naturias. He gains 200 attack for each Naturia monster in your graveyard. So after you get all these guys in the graveyard, like Naturia Cherries and Naturia Cliff, then is the time to bring him out. I've gotten this guy up to, the maximum with this deck would be around 4,200 attack points. That is good attack power right there. And you run 3 of them. And his effect also works if you have 2 other Dragonflies in the graveyard, so he'll also gain strength. That's how I was up in the 4,000s. And his other good effect is he cannot be destroyed by monsters with more than 2,000 attack. So anything above 2,000 attack, set him in defense mode, and they attack, can't be destroyed. Best thing is when you have more Naturias and his attack is over 2,000, then he will not be able to be destroyed by any monster, 1,900 or less, because he'll be destroying them in the process. So he's a really good card in my opinion. You're going to want to also play 2 Naturia Pumpkin. I was going to run 3 of him, but I figured you only need 2 of him at the moment, and here's why. I'll tell you why. I'm probably going to run 3 of him more when XYZ monsters get more popular, because right now they're not too big. There's not that many released at the moment, but when they get bigger, here's why. I'll tell you why. His effect is Naturia Pumpkin. When you summon him, normal summon, and your opponent controls a monster, you could special summon another Naturia monster from your hand. So, be it whatever monster it is, your opponent has a monster, you summon him, you can special summon a Naturia Cherries for a level 5 Synchro, or even a Naturia Cosmobeet for a level 6 Synchro. So that's a Synchro in one turn right there with those monsters. But here's also another good thing that's going to be happening. You summon him, and then you could special summon the Naturia monster. Let me see real quick. Yep. Here's what you do. You could special summon this. You don't want to summon Naturia Bamboo Shoot because it doesn't get his effect in that manner. You want to save Bamboo Shoot. But special summon a Naturia Dragonfly. You got 2 level 4s. Overset them, and you can Exceed summon a level 4 monster, which is why I think Naturia Pumpkin is going to be very good in the later builds once Exceeds become more popular. The new card I added from Photon Shockwave is Naturia Maroon. Or Marron. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. With Marron, what you do is when this card is normal summon, you can send 1 Naturia monster from your deck to the graveyard, and once per turn you could target 2 Naturia monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them back into your deck, and draw 1 card. Excuse me. This card was pretty much my substitute for Pot of Avarice in this deck, which is why I don't run it even though it's only at 1. Because with this card, it's pretty much a recycler for your deck. You get 2 nature, you could put 1 in the graveyard, and you can also send 2 back and then draw a card. So he's awesome draw power, and he's a level 3, so you can get out those level 5 and 4 synchros when you synchro with Cosmobeet and Cherry. You're going to run, the last Naturia is going to run 1 Butterfly. His ability is when your opponent attacks, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard to negate the attack. You can only activate this once per turn. That's why I only run 1 of them. And you're also going to run 1 Spirit Reaper and 1 Morphing Jar. And the reason I don't run Marshmallow is because this is not a burn deck, it's a lockdown deck. Okay, that's it for the monsters. Now for spells, you're going to run 3 Pot of Duality. The reason I run 3 is with this deck, you are going to be synchro summoning, but not a whole lot. When you get this chance to synchro summon, but mostly what you're trying to do with this deck is normal summon the Dragonflies and tribute summon the Bamboo Shoots to lock down your opponent, which is why you want to run 3 so you can get a lot of draw power out of those. And you also want to be able to protect your Naturia Bamboo Shoot with these cards. You're going to run 2 Burden of the Mighty. I had 3 Burden of the Mighty, but I found that to be too much with the XYZ monsters. So you're only going to run 2, protect them from the synchros. You're going to use a Smashing Ground for the Exceeds. You're going to run 1 Enemy Controller, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Heavy Storm. You really want to use this card when you're trying to get Bamboo Shoot out to make sure they don't have a Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgement. 1 Book of Moon, and 1 Dark Hole. And that's it for the magic cards. And next for traps, you're going to run 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device. I really like this card, mainly because you do want to protect Bamboo Shoot, and when your opponent sends out a big monster, you activate this to send the monster back to your hand, give you 1 more turn with Bamboo Shoot, because that's the one thing he can't stop, or when strong monsters are tribute or synchro summoned. You're also going to run to protect him 2 Fiendish Chains. Basically what it does is 1 face-up effect monster in the field. Its effect is negated, it cannot attack, so it just holds back that opponent's monster again. You're going to run 1 Shadow Spell. What am I saying? Not Shadow Spell. Scrap Iron Scarecrow. 1 Solemn Warning and 1 Solemn Judgement. I feel that's all you really need in this deck. 1 Mirror Force, and 1 7 Tools of the Bandit. That's it for the main deck. Now we'll move on to the extra deck. You run 2 Naturia Barkions. Best synchro in this deck in my opinion. You can pretty much get him out when you summon Naturia Pumpkin and you special summon Naturia Cosmobeet. Level 6 right there. Quick synchro, you get Barkion on the field, and his ability is when your opponent activates a trap card, you can banish 2 cards in your graveyard to negate the trap card and destroy it. really good in my opinion. The only thing that can stop him, like I said, is Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgement, but once he hits the field and your opponent activates a Solemn Judgement or Warning, you can negate it. You're going to run one Naturia Beast. He's a level 5. You can get him out by synchroing Naturia Marron or Cosmobeet or Pumpkin, Cherries, etc. And his ability is when your opponent activates a spell card, you could send top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard to negate the spell card. 2 work well together. He gets rid of them from the deck, he gets rid of them from the graveyard. Once you get both of them out on the field, if you can protect them, you pretty much have complete control of the duel. You're going to run one Naturia Landois. You don't really run him too much. I mean, his effect would be better. The only thing I don't like about it, he negates effects, but you have to get rid of a spell card in your hand, and in this deck, you don't really want to be giving up spell cards. And Naturia Leodrake. Like I said, also, you don't really run him either, level 9. With this deck, when you get a level 9 opportunity, you're going to want to summon Trishula over Leodrake, and that doesn't come up too often. Going to run one Bryonic. He's the second most card I synchro summon in this deck, next to Barkion, because he's level 6 as well. He comes out really fast. He is a great help. Send the Naturias to the graveyard with his ability and just power up for when you get Dragonfly. You're going to run one Black Rose Dragon. Now the thing about Black Rose Dragon is I really play her, I like to call her, for her other ability. Not the blow up one, but for her other good ability. Which is you can banish one plant monster in your graveyard, which be Maroon, Cherries, Cosmobeet, Pumpkin, any one of those. To select one of your opponent's defense position monsters, switch it to attack mode, and its attack becomes 0, and then you can attack it for 2400 damage. That is what I really like to use this card for, because in this deck you're running pretty much half plants. You're going to run one Stardust Dragon, one Thought Ruler Archfiend, one Armory Arm. I get this out sometimes when I synchro level 4. I equip it to Bamboo Shoot just to give him the 3000 attack power. Going to run one Ancient Fairy Dragon just to have a level 7. One TG Hyper Librarian. One Ally Justice Cataster. One Trishula. And the new card I added for the Exceed Summon, you're going to run 1 or 2 Utopia at the moment. I have 1 at the moment. If you don't have any of the other cards, use the 2 Utopia to fill in. He makes a good attack power for this deck when you have the opportunity to Exceed Summon and you have no other option. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Just a few changes from my last video. Excuse me. So yeah, I really like it. It's still going strong for me at locals. We'll wait to see what happens in future, when future cards comes out, how I'll change the deck and all that. But for now, it's a really good build. I enjoy playing it. It's very fun. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys like the deck profile. Please subscribe, and Kira Twig out.